As the bench here says, welcome to Boise City. We are in the westernmost part of the panhandle of Oklahoma. I'm sitting here in this beautiful town circle. A lot of places have a town square, but Boise City has a town circle. Got a nice Chamber of Commerce sign here on the old railroad car, and interesting history. This is no man's land of Oklahoma, at least used to be. So let's take a little stroll around the circle and learn about the history of Boise City. Boise City is located in Cimarron County. It's the furthest western county in the Oklahoma panhandle and borders Kansas and Colorado on the north, New Mexico on the west, and Texas to the south and west. And Boise City is located right in the middle of Cimarron County. It had an unusual start. In 1908, the Southwestern Immigration and Development Company of Guthrie, Oklahoma established the town. They chose the approximate geographical center of the county, hoping it would stand the best chance of being selected as the county seat, which it eventually did. They platted the town and sold about 3,000 lots, and most went to buyers in distant states where the purchasers were not likely to tour this area and discover that the circulated brochures were heavily fabricated. The advertisements showed rivers, paved streets, numerous trees, houses, businesses, sidewalks, railroad. None of this was true. And then, through all the false publicity, the promoters also had no title to the land that they sold. Those men were eventually arrested in 1909 and federally indicted with the crime of fraudulent use of the mail. Even through that, the new town survived, and it was finally incorporated in 1925. There's a few different stories of how it got its name. Boise City was possibly named after a Captain Boise, who was a Civil War hero. Also could be named after Boise, Idaho, with a different pronunciation, of course. There was also a Boise Cattle Company, spelled B-O-I-C-E, located in Kansas, which ran cattle through this area. In 1925, the Santa Fe Railway came through the area, and they decided to incorporate the town that year, and the courthouse was built in 1926. The Dust Bowl was tremendously hard on this area of Oklahoma, but through it, the town survived and actually grew into the next few decades. But 1943, a strange occurrence happened. A B-17 bomber dropped 6 practice bombs on Boise City. The plane flew from Dalhart, Texas, Army base, about 50 miles south, and mistook the courthouse lights for its target. Kind of crazy. So Vera Miles, she was an actress in John Wayne westerns and Hitchcock's Psycho. She was from here in Boise City. The extreme location in the western panhandle puts Boise City closer to the state capitals of Santa Fe, New Mexico, and Denver, Colorado, than its own state capital in Oklahoma City. The first census was taken in 1930, as the town wasn't incorporated until the 1920s, and you can see it rose all the way through until 1970 and held a pretty steady population there of just under 2,000 people. And then since 1970, each census, the population has gone down to its current number of 1,166. I was hoping to visit the Cimarron Heritage Center here in Boise City and to learn a lot about the history here, but unfortunately on this sign behind me it says the day that I'm here on this Saturday that it's closed for medical reasons, and I'm assuming there's one person that runs the place, and in small towns like this, if they're not well, then you know it's going to be closed. So unfortunately not able to go inside. I kind of went around and tried to get some video of some of the things that are here. There's some cool looking things, old school and a railroad depot, and just some kind of interesting things. And then they do have a giant what we call it, artwork of a Cimarronosaurus and it's a giant dinosaur. Well, I don't know how giant it is. It's probably small compared to what a dinosaur really was back in the day. But yeah, so anyways, I'm sure this is a great place. Maybe people can comment about what they've learned here. You know, Boise City is interesting, and I didn't know what to expect when I got here. And you know, there are certainly some very unique things about it with its geography here in Oklahoma and in the United States. And but exploring the town as much as I could, I guess the best way I could feel about it is a little bit conflicted maybe. Like there's certainly a lot of things to see. This is the county seat, this part of Oklahoma. This is the place to go for most things, but it's kind of spread out. Now it's about half the size it used to be at its peak, and there's a lot of kind of abandoned things that have probably been there for a long time, and but then there's a lot of things that people are kind of trying to keep going. There's some businesses, and then there's businesses that are empty along kind of the main street areas. But the best way I can describe it is it feels very authentic, and that's what I love. So I enjoyed coming to Boise City, and there's definitely a lot of history to be learned about this part of the country, and in particular this part of Oklahoma. Very interesting, and hopefully if you come to Boise City, the Heritage Museum here will be open and you can learn even more than I did. Thanks for watching this video about Boise City, Oklahoma. If you like this video, there are several ways to support the channel. You can donate by hitting the thanks button under the video or purchase Travel with a Wiseguy merchandise. In the description of this video is a link to my website where you can learn more about the channel and sign up for my newsletter. And if you aren't interested in any of that, I'm just happy you took a few minutes out of your day to watch this video and learn more about the history of Boise City. And now here's a tour of the local airport.